This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.45, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Niranjan Abesundara. Farmers request the President to continue with the compulsory organic fertilizer policy. Sri Lanka receives Future Policy Award 2021 on protection from hazardous chemicals. The WHO highly appreciates the initiative taken by the Health Ministry to eradicate COVID-19 in Sri Lanka. The JVP and the Samaki Janabalawege accused of acting on behalf of the chemical fertilizer companies. In world news, wildfire forces residents at the hottest place in Canada in heatwave to evacuate. In sports news, the second One International between Sri Lanka and England is underway at the Oval. District farmer representatives have requested the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to continue with the decision taken to make it compulsory to use organic fertilizer. Farmer representatives said it is their duty to provide food without toxins to the people. They were speaking today at the district representative meeting of National Farmer Federations. The President said at the meeting that farmer insurance cover, which was stopped during the time of the Good Governance government, would be made available from today. Decision to make it compulsory to use organic fertilizer was not taken suddenly. It is honouring a pledge given in the Vistas of Prosperity Policy Statement. The President said that certain elements are trying to disrupt the process. The President assured to implement the decision despite any challenges. Speaking on the occasion, Minister Mahindanand Aruthkamage said the government has paid attention on increasing the farmers' pension. He said 105 new paddy stores will be built. The Foreign Ministry says Sri Lanka's Control of Pesticides Act No. 33 of 1980 and the National Policy and Action Plan on Prevention of Suicide of 1997 are among the 5 inspiring and impactful laws and policies that won the Future Policy Award 2021. The award, often referred to as the Oscar on Best Policies, is celebrating the most effective policy solutions that minimize the adverse effects of exposure to chemicals on human health and the environment. These 2 policies from Sri Lanka have contributed to one of the greatest decreases in suicide rates ever achieved in the world. They have saved about 93,000 lives over 20 years. The prize is awarded by the World Future Council and is organized this year in partnership with the United Nations Environment Programme and other international organizations. The new World Health Organization resident representative of Sri Lanka, Dr. Alaka Singh, called on the Minister of Health, Pavitra Vaniyarachi, at the Ministry of Health today. Minister of Health Pavitra Vaniyarachi said that the support extended by the WHO to Sri Lanka in the fight against COVID-19 is highly appreciated. She said, Sri Lanka would like to thank the WHO for giving priority to Sri Lanka through the COVAX project, especially in the vaccination program. Dr. Alaka Singh said the WHO highly appreciates the initiative taken by the Ministry of Health to eradicate COVID-19 in Sri Lanka. Therefore, Dr. Singh said she is committed to provide all necessary assistance for the eradication of COVID-19 as Sri Lanka's representative. MP Madhuri Thanage said that JVP and the Samaki Janabalawege are acting on behalf of the chemical fertilizer companies. During a press briefing of the Sri Lanka Pradhan Peramana today in Colombo, he said that fundamental reasons for destruction of agricultural industry unique to the country is the use of chemical fertilizer. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said the previous government has not done any productive activity on behalf of the low-income recipient people. He said they gave some of the subsidy only to their political supporters. While attending a function today at Temple Tree, the Prime Minister said the aim of the previous government was their benefit, but not to uplift the people. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The Ministry of Health says 1,173 persons have tested positive for coronavirus today. All new cases are associated with the New Year COVID-19 cluster. This brings the total number of COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country so far to 260,262. Presently, 31,280 infected patients are being treated in hospitals and treatment centers across the country. The number of recovered has reached 225,952. A total of 43 more COVID-19 related deaths occurred yesterday, confirmed by the Director General of Health Services today, pushing the death toll to 3,120. According to the Government Information Department, 16 females and 27 males are among the deceased. The High Commission of India invites applications from eligible Sri Lankan students seeking admission to undergraduate courses under the self-financing scheme for the academic year 2021-2022. Interested candidates are requested to fill up the application forms available at the Education Wing of the High Commission of India, Colombo 3, on any working day between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. on the production of the GCE O-Level and A-Level certificates of Sri Lanka issued by the Department of Examination, or the London GCE O-Level and A-Level certificates and the birth certificate. Last date of receipt of completed application forms with all necessary documents in the High Commission is 6 August 2021. That ends local news for now.
The largest bonus declared in the history of the Sri Lankan insurance industry. Sri Lanka Insurance Grand Bonus. An unmatchable bonus of 8.6 billion rupees only for Sri Lanka Insurance life policy holders from the nation's largest insurer. Call 0112-357-357 for more details. Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Deputy Director General of Health Ministry Dr. Hemantha Herath said that more attention should be paid for fever in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. He said all heads of institutions should pay attention on employees who are having fever symptoms. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight. Director of the Consumer Affairs Authority, Asela Bandara, said that permission has not been given to increase gas prices. He said certain traders try to hide gas cylinders anticipating a price hike. He requested the public to inform the Consumer Affairs Authority if gas is sold at higher rates. That came to you in Watchlight. And on to world news. Wildfire forces residents at hottest place in Canada heatwave to evacuate. High-profile women want action to stop online abuse. The U.S. plans third gender option on passports. Residents of a Canadian village which recorded the highest ever temperature of 49.6 Celsius have been forced to flee by a wildfire. The mayor of Lytton, British Columbia, ordered people to evacuate, saying flames had spread through the village in just 15 minutes. A heat wave has hit Western Canada this week, with British Columbia recording 3 times its usual number of deaths. Abnormally high temperatures have been recorded in swaths of North America. More than 200 high-profile women have signed an open letter asking for concrete action to tackle abuse on social media platforms. The letter, signed by women including former Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard, ex-US tennis player Billie Jean King, British actresses Tanvid Newton and Emma Watson, have been published at the UN Generation Equality Forum. The letter was addressed to the chief executives of Facebook, Google, TikTok and Twitter, and asked them to urgently prioritize the safety of women on their platforms. The US has announced plans for a third gender option on passports. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, however, warned that adding an option different to male and female would take time. He also announced a rule change allowing people to self-select male or female on their passport. Previously, people needed a medical certificate to mark their gender as different from the one on their birth certificate. And back to the headlines of the world news. Wildfire forced residents at hottest place in Canada heatwave to evacuate. High-profile women want action to stop online abuse. US plans third gender option on passports. Development news. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said Batticaloa Airport is to be developed as attractive domestic airport with more facilities. Addressing the media after an inspection tour at Batticaloa Airport, he said the airport was built in 1958 at the Civil Service Department and later handed over to the Sri Lanka Air Force in 1983. The runway of the airport was developed and operated at the domestic airport in 2012. That is development news. And on to sports news. The second one international between Sri Lanka and England is underway at the Oval. England won the toss and chose to field Sri Lanka were 169 for 6 wickets a short while ago. Sri Lanka Cricket has announced that 39 cricketers who signed new annual contracts the year 2021 and 2022 have been placed in a bio bubble in 2 separate groups in Dambulla and Colombo as a part of the preparation for the upcoming inbound and outbound tours. 39 players represent the contract categories of senior, A-team and emerging. Accordingly, 26 players are undergoing residential training at Dambulla, which commenced on the 25th of June, whilst another 13-member group will start training tomorrow in Colombo. CoinDCX, India's largest and safest cryptocurrency exchange platform, has become the official title sponsor for T20 series between India and Sri Lanka. T20 India versus Sri Lanka series will be called the CoinDCX T20 Cup and is set to begin in Sri Lanka on the 21st of this month. It is a part of the Indian team's tour to Sri Lanka and will feature 3 one-day internationals. International team will be led by Shikhar Dhawan. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
SoftLogic Finance, a subsidiary of SoftLogic Capital, financial arm of the SoftLogic Group, announced plan to strengthen its Tier 1 capital in compliance with the capital adequacy requirements as stipulated by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka through a rights issue to existing shareholders. With an overall strategic plan to boost stability and ensure continuous growth, new management at SoftLogic Finance has successfully steered the company in the right direction to overcome multiple challenges. That is Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Sri Lanka mission in Japan has facilitated 3 online promotional events to increase exposure to Japan and investments to Sri Lanka, including a country-specific session at the first ever virtual Sri Lanka Investment Forum that concluded with the participation of over 220 prospective Japanese investors. Mission attracted over 220 potential investors from a cross-section of segments including software, pharmaceutical, agricultural and manufacturing to participate in the Japan-Sri Lanka virtual room. That is Economic News.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasir, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Met Department says showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, northwestern and southern provinces and in the Kandy and Nuwara districts. Fairly heavy showers over 70 millimeters can be expected some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces and in the Nuwara district. Short thunder showers may occur in a few places in the Uwa and eastern provinces in the evening or night. That was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasir, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Back to the headlines of the news. Farmers request President to continue with the compulsory organic fertilizer policy. Sri Lanka receives Future Policy Award 2021 on protection from hazardous chemicals. The WHO highly appreciates the initiative taken by the Health Ministry to eradicate COVID-19 in Sri Lanka. The JVP and the Samudana Balaga accused of acting on behalf of the chemical fertilizer companies. In world news, wildfires force residents at the hottest place in Canada heatwave to evacuate. Sports news, the second one international between Sri Lanka and England is underway at the Oval. That ends the news tonight.